Welcome to Metal Planet, a place where every metal subgenre is celebrated, from mainstream to underground bands. My name is Max Gray. It's already a new release week for heavy metal and hard rock, so here's what's coming out on October 10th, 2025. This week, instead of presenting albums of the week at the end of the video, I'm gonna present the records from this week that I recommend the most for the current October and Halloween spooky season. Albums about creatures or about horror and gothic themes that will give you some Halloween vibes in preparation for October 31st. But now we are going to start today's list with two genre blending titles with a sound inspired by 90s grunge music, Red Sky Mourning and Stare into the Seething Wounds. Those albums by the American bands Soulblind and Extortionist will be rooted in different heavier music styles, whether it's alternative metal, nu metal, metalcore or hardcore, but they will contain some old school grunge flavors that will give a nostalgic feel to their sound. The grunge flavors will be more or less prevalent depending on each individual track. The Soulblind song Dino and the Extortionist track The Break I Couldn't Mend both evoke the music of Alice in Chains. Being a kid born in the 90s, I think it's cool that there's a kind of grunge resurgence these days. Next up, John Five is a well-known guitarist in the metal and rock worlds. He is currently in Motley Crue, and he has played with many established acts like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie and David Lee Roth in the past. When playing with those bands, he often had or has to downplay his technical abilities in order to service the songs. To have a vehicle that enables him to be more creative, Five also releases instrumental solo albums where he can play in a more technical style. The musician will drop a new solo album in a few days, Ghost, where his skills on a fretboard will be on full display. The shredding is not the only thing that will shine in this record. The album will also feature quality drumming. The American death metal band Sanguisugabogg from Ohio will unleash Hideous Aftermath through Century Media Records. This one will not be for the faint of heart, with lyrics about gore, cannibalism and perversions. In that sense, the music of this group can be for fans of extreme bands like Cannibal Corpse and 200 Stab Wounds. The vocal performance in Sanguisugabogg sounds like a cross between George Corpse Grander Fisher and Chris Barnes, the two singers who have appeared on Cannibal Corpse albums. Hideous Aftermath will be a savage display of caveman riffs, and it was produced by Kurt Ballou, a dope producer who produced albums by Converge, Nils and Code Orange in the past. With its horrific, gory themes, I could have included Hideous Aftermath in my October Halloween season recommendations at the end of the video, but there will be another death metal album there that I think is even more in the spirit of Halloween. There will be 4 extreme metal records in this next round. The Californian band Dead Heat will drop Process of Elimination, its first album in 4 years. This one will have an organic sounding production, and it will be notable for its fusion of thrash metal and hardcore, with music in the genre known as crossover thrash. The hardest thing about being God is that No One Believes Me by the band Blindfolded and Led to the Woods will be a challenging death metal record with technical playing and occasional synth sounds. On October 10th, the influential Swedish melodic death metal formation Arch Enemy will release a deluxe edition for its most recent studio album Blood Dynasty. The new version of the album will contain 3 additional tracks, Break the Spell, Moths, and Lacrimatory. To promote the deluxe edition, the track Break the Spell has already been made available for listening. I don't know why it was left off from the standard version of the album. It's a good Arch Enemy track. The 4th record, Our Breath Is Not Ours Alone by the post-black metal project Terzij the Horde from the Netherlands will be a blast beats and tremolo picking fest that should please fans of that black metal subgenre. This next record is going to be an interesting one. Litania will be the debut album by the band of the same name. This band features members from Italy and Serbia, and they are inspired by Indian traditional music. The base layer of their music is rooted in the stoner and psychedelic rock genres, with a presence of slow heavy riffing, but they add on top of that drone sounds and parts played with instruments from India like the sitar and the dilruba. The female vocals in the material are also interesting. They are mesmerizing and have a surreal quality that draws you in. All in all, Litania will be a cool genre blending experience where the power of the electric guitars meets the spiritual depth of Indian traditional music. Testament will soon release Bellum, its 14th studio album. I discovered Testament in the late 2000s with the album The Formation of Damnation, and I think that the run of albums this ensemble has released ever since has been solid. Infanticide AI, the first single from the new record, is pretty strong. The riffs are razor sharp, the drumming is on point, and the vocal delivery is commanding. Even though Testament has been around for a long time, you can see that the members are still killing it. Their new record will be a reflection on humanity, its technological creations, and the chaotic world we live in, with the first single being a cautionary tale about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. There's been some talks in recent years by thrash metal fans that either Testament, Exodus, or both bands should be added into the big four of thrash metal. Do you think Testament should be added to that list or not? Let me know what you think in the comments. Two records with a relatively light hard rock or heavy metal sound will be released this week by the label Metalville. Purpendicular was originally a Deep Purple tribute band, but in a surprising twist, the Deep Purple drummer Ian Paice has joined the formation. He will be the one behind the drum kit in the album Band. Paice has been called by Lars Ulrich of Metallica as one of the greatest drummers of all time. When you hear him play in the new Purpendicular tracks, you notice that his drum sound is rich, with a lot of nuances, and there is a dynamic range to his playing. The record will also contain some Hammond organ sounds, and it will have a fitting vintage retro production. It's basically 70s Deep Purple made in the 21st century. War and Peace will be the third solo album by the Astral Doors singer Nils Patrik Johansson. In this record, his Dio-esque operatic vocals will take the center stage. Astral Doors released a good album last year, The End of It All, and with War and Peace, I'll be curious to see how Johansson does in a solo context. Now it's time for my recommendations for the October/Halloween spooky season. 3 albums that will be released this week. Fossilized by Ultraraptor is the third album I recommend the most this week for the Halloween season because it has a theme centered around creatures, prehistoric monsters. You know, we have a multitude of bands in the metal scene with each of them inspired by different topics. For decades, we've had groups with lyrics about pirates and Vikings, and it was only a matter of time before bands with a dinosaur theme started to appear. Ultraraptor is one of those formations. The band's lyrics are inspired by dinosaurs, yes, but also by science fiction and fantasy, which fits well with Halloween. The lyrics are tongue-in-cheek and cheesy in a good way. For the instrumental side of things, Fossilized features well-executed fast tracks. Overall, this is a fun and entertaining record that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's metal and freaking dinosaurs together, man. What more do you need? The second album I recommend the most for the October spooky season is Neverending Night of Terror, the upcoming record by the death metal band Heads for the Dead. This release is a perfect match for that season. The storytelling in the album will include tales of revenge, violence and fear, inspired by slasher and horror movies like Friday the 13th, Reanimator and Videodrome. The album's last track will be an original composition influenced by the band Goblin, who scored the soundtrack for the 1977 supernatural horror film Suspiria. The material in the new Heads for the Dead album will have a sinister atmospheric aura, and its sound effects will give the songs a cinematic edge. Neverending Night of Terror will be a nightmarish sonic experience where death metal and horror movies collide. The album I recommend the most this week for the fall spooky season is Heretics and Lullabies by the female-fronted ensemble Frail. This group is a theatrical band. The members wear costumes and masks in their music videos and on stage, and the singer Gwyn Strang plays a kind of character that is both an evil witch and a seductress. Her hypnotizing vocals sound like they come from another world or another dimension. Heretics and Lullabies will channel a gothic atmosphere with slow doomy riffs, which is perfect for October and Halloween. The song Heretic features a guest appearance from the vocalist Jason Popson, aka J-Man, who previously was a member of Mushroom Head, another theatrical band. And the track Summertime Madness is a cover of the Lana Del Rey song, done in the gloomy style of Frail. Hopefully this video got you excited about the new albums coming out this week. If you found the content useful, hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on the new heavy music releases that come out each week. Initially an album by the power and speed metal band Warrant was supposed to drop this week, but it appears that it was pushed back to October 24th. There was also an important album that I forgot to cover last week, the new record by Terzij titled Horizons West. I didn't include this album this week to compensate for last week's omission because there was already a lot of interesting records to talk about this week. If you're interested to hear about this record, Brady Fugel, a friend of the channel, recently did a good in-depth review of this album. If you're into Thrice, you might want to check that review. I'll leave a link to his video in the description section of the current video. Let me know in the comments which albums you plan to listen to this week, and tell me also which album, new or old, would you recommend me for the October Halloween spooky season. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!